Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all. Hey guys, that was one of my favorite quotes, and it's actually from The Princess Diaries, so let me know if you remember that. Well, welcome. My name is Cesaroni, and I am sharing my journey here in Mexico City, finding peace and happiness here after going through a breakup. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. It's jam-packed with a lot of cool things to do in Mexico City, so I hope you enjoy. Throughout the journey, I will be sharing some lessons and some education of the things that I learned being in Mexico City. I'm not a Mexico City local. I'm from the northern region of Chihuahua, so being in Mexico City, I task myself to learn as much as I can from the culture of Central and South Mexico. So come along with me. Thank you for being here. I hope that you give me a like and enjoy. So I'm very blessed that my family from Las Vegas and my family from Chihuahua came and visited me to Mexico City, so I made sure that they were able to do all the cool things in Mexico City. And one of the things that we did is Xochimilco. Xochimilco is a whole bunch of canals in the south region of Mexico City, and it's very popular with tourists. The cool thing is that you can rent one of those boats, and they're a gondola, so they're called trajineras. And throughout your journey through the canals, you get to see cool things, and you can hire people to cook for you. You can hire a mariachi, you can hire a band, you name it. It's a really fun time, and yeah, you will see how this goes. Having family that loves you, it is so important, and I'm very blessed to have people that love me and that really understand who I am, so they bring a lot of happiness to my life. So it's a coincidence that it's my nephew's, which his name is Emilio. It's his birthday. So in Mexican tradition, we sing Las Mañanitas, and it's a traditional Mexican birthday song written by a Mexican composer, Alfonso Esparza Oteo. It is widely popular in Mexico and in other Latin American countries at birthday parties. Usually it is sung in the morning to awaken the birthday person, also before eating cake, and especially as part of the custom serenading women. In Mexico, Las Mañanitas is sung to men and women of all ages. And just to translate you the first verse of the song, it goes like this. These are the little mornings in which King David used to sing. For today is your birthday, we sing them to you. I think it's such a cute song. La Llorona. In Latin American folklore, La Llorona, which in English it means the weeping woman or the wailer, is a ghost who roams the waterfront areas mourning her children whom she drowned. The legend of La Llorona is deeply rooted in the Mexican popular culture, her story told to children to encourage them not to wander off after dark. The legend of La Llorona, set in Xochimilco, borough of Mexico City, established in 1993 to coincide with the Day of the Dead. The earliest documentation of La Llorona is traced back to the 1550s in Mexico City, though there are theories that her story can be connected to specific mythologies of the Aztec, including some creation stories. The Aztec creation myth of the hungry woman includes a wailing woman constantly crying for food, which has been compared to La Llorona's signature nocturnal wailing of her children. The motherly nature of La Llorona tragedy has also been compared to Chiacuaut, an Aztec goddess who has considered a deity of motherhood. In the southwestern United States, the story of La Llorona is told to scare children into good behavior, sometimes specifically to deter children from playing near dangerous water. Also told to them is that her cries are heard as she walks around the street or near bodies of water to scare children from wandering around, resembling the stories of El Cucuy. Just south of Mexico City, between the canals of Xochimilco, you can find a small island with a sad background, which never intended to be a tourist destination. The island is known as Isla de las Muñecas. It is dedicated to the lost soul of a poor girl who met her fate too soon in a strange circumstance. The area has thousands of people, but this small island is home to hundreds of terrifying dolls. Their severed limbs, decapitated heads, and blank eyes adorn the trees. Dolls on the island are threatening, even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark, they are particularly disturbing, as you can see in these videos. It is said that the girl was found drowned in mysterious circumstances many years ago on this island, and that doll are possessed by her spirits. Local legend says that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes. Some witnesses claim that they had heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others who were on the boat near the island said that the dolls lured them in to come down to the island. Of course, these witnesses are exaggerating and that the island is no way possessed, but Isla de las Muñecas is a very creepy place anyway, and that marks the casual visitor. And as we continue my journey into Xochimilco, we brought some tortas that we bought right outside the canals. And then we also took an opportunity to take a picture with my cousin Karina and her son Emilio. So as I welcomed my parents to Mexico City, I made sure I rented a place that has enough room for us, and I was very happy living here in Colonia Cuauhtemoc San Rafael, on the street of Guillermo Prieto. An Airbnb that I rented for 30 days had an extra guest room, and it's just beyond beautiful. Pulque, classical Nahuatl, it comes from the word metoctli or octli. It's an alcoholic beverage made from the fermented sap of maguey or agave plant. It is traditional in central Mexico. It has the color of milk and rather viscous consistency and a sour yeast-like taste. The drink's history extends far back in the Mesoamerican period when it was considered sacred and its use was limited to certain classes of people. After the Spanish conquest of Mexico, the drink became secular and its consumption rose. The consumption of pulque reached its peak in the late 19th century. In the 20th century, the drink fell into decline, mostly because of the competition from beer, which became prevalent with the arrival of the European immigrants. There are some efforts to revive the drink's popularity through tourism. So visiting here, Teotihuacan, they really pushed us to get pulque, and it was really yummy actually. I don't mind having more, but it's hard to find pulque, I think, here in the United States.
trading chains for single lanes. Just trading chains for single lanes. Gotta get on, man. Gotta get on, man.
Teotihuacan is a vast Mexican archaeological complex northeast of Mexico City, running down the middle of the site, which was once a flourishing pre-Columbian city. It is the Avenue of the Dead. It links the Temple of the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun, the latter two with panoramic views from their summits. Artifacts in the Museum of Teotihuacan culture on site include pottery and bones. So my trip in Teotihuacan and also my drone shots in Teotihuacan were cut short as the Mexican president arrived to do a tour himself, and I was literally chased by the Mexican military because of my drone. So I was given a warning telling me that they will confiscate my drone and that they will fine me for having it. So I told them that I would quickly land it, and in my freak out of them threatening me, I lost the drone, and I had to figure out real quick how to land it because the soldier was literally standing waiting for me to land the drone. So pretty scary. The castle of Chapultepec is located on top of Chapultepec Hill in Mexico City's Chapultepec Park. The name Chapultepec is now out, which means Hill of the Grasshopper. The castle, the only one in the Americas, by the way. Yep, there's no castles in the US and there's no castles in Canada, but there is a castle in Mexico. The castle has such unparalleled views and terraces that explorer James F. Elton wrote that they can't be surpassed in beauty in any part of the world. It is located in the entrance of Chapultepec Park at the height of 2,325 meters above sea level. The site of the hill was a sacred place for the Aztecs, and the buildings atop it have served several purposes during its history, including that of military academy, imperial residence, presidential residence, and now observatory since the 1940s, the National Museum of History. Chapultepec Castle, along with Iturbide Palace, also in Mexico City, are the only royal palaces in North America. And yes, folks, that's an American flag on that same castle. In 1847, during the Mexican-American War, the United States took over Mexico City, and that included the castle and made it into a military academy. So there you go. If you're familiar with Disney World, specifically Epcot, there's this place in the Mexican pavilion called San Angel Inn Restaurant. The San Angel restaurant is actually inspired by the real San Angel restaurant in Mexico City. So guess what? We took the opportunity to visit and dine at the real San Angel Inn restaurant in Mexico City. San Angel Inn is an old Carmelite monastery which was turned into a well-known restaurant. It is located in the southwest of Mexico City, in the historic neighborhood of San Angel in the borough of Álvaro Obregón. It is famous for its international cuisine, variety of dishes, Mexican colonial architecture and interior decorations, and spacious gardens and fountains. The construction of San Angel Inn dates back to the 17th century, back in 1692. It was initially built by the Carmelites for the purpose of becoming a monastery. Eventually, the property was acquired and made into a restaurant. And the food here, guys, was amazing. If you have the opportunity to book a taxi, it's a little bit far from the downtown area in Mexico. However, it's definitely worth coming and dining here. And I think it's a very, very romantic place if you want to take a date or anything special. The next morning, we took a trip to Coyoacan. The name comes from the Nahuatl and most likely means place of the coyotes, when the Aztecs named the pre-Hispanic village on the southern shore of Lake Texcoco that was dominated by the Tepanec people. Against Aztec domination, these people welcomed Hernán Cortés and the Spanish, who used the area as headquarters during the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire and made into the first capital of New Spain. In Coyoacan, there's a lot of cute places to eat. We stopped by this really cute restaurant. They welcome you with fresh baked artisan breads, Mexican style. And of course, Café de Olla. It is so delicious, and what a way to start my workday. Chinicuiles is a Mexican dish prepared with maguey worms that infest the root of the maguey and agave plants before they're harvested for human consumption. They're traditionally harvested in Tlaxcala and Hidalgo. The worms are the same ones that can be found at the bottom of a mezcal bottle. And to be very honest with you, they were gross, but good. Escamoles are the larvae of the ants. And in Mexico City, you eat them as tacos. They are native to some semi-arid areas of Mexico and the southern United States. And honestly, these are so good. I would totally come back and get some more of these. You should really try these. Also in Coyoacan, you will find the famous Casa Azul, which is known to be Frida Kahlo's house. If you don't know about Frida Kahlo, she was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits, self-portraits, and works inspired by the nature and artifacts of Mexico. If you haven't seen Frida Kahlo on Netflix, I highly recommend that you do. It's a really good movie and a lot to learn from as well. And guys, I would like to quickly thank my entire family for the ones who came out of their way to visit me in Mexico City. I had the time of my life learning all about the Mexican culture, about Mexican foods, and all the amazing things with them. So I am now reaching my 100 subscriber, and that's definitely a milestone. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching my content, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you learn something, and if you're inspired by my videos, I would greatly appreciate if you give me a like, a comment, and a subscription. That would mean so much to me. And my journey continues in Mexico, so I'm excited for my next video. I'm sending you so much peace and love. Your friend, Cesaroni.